Hello everyone and welcome to the latest in our series of digital webcasts from the team at Travel Weekly and Aspire. My name is Hollie and I'm the editor of Aspire magazine, and today I'm delighted to be joined by Josh Leibowitz, who is days into his role as the president of Seabourn. Prior to his new position, Josh served as Cunard's Senior Vice President for North America, and he was also Chief Strategy Officer for the wider Carnival Corporation. Thank you very much for joining me today, Josh. I know how busy you are and how new into your role you are, so thank you very much for taking the time.
Thanks so much for having me, Holly. Nice to see you.
Yeah, it's lovely to see you. I hope you've been finding the lockdown scenarios okay and that everyone is safe and well over there. Let's get started to talk about some of your background. I know you've been with the Carnival Corporation for some time now, so talk to us a little bit and explain what your roles have been while prior to taking up the current position. So what have you been up to at Carnival?
Excellent. So, and I hope you all are well as well, Holly, and your family.
Thank you.
I joined Carnival just about 7 years ago and worked for the past 7 years with the entire management team as the Chief Strategy Officer. And then more recently, like you said, at Cunard North America, which is a brand I'm sure is well known to our British and American listeners and those around the world. So my role really over the past several years has been to draw some of the connection points across Carnival Corporation, the sister brands, and make sure that while they're each differentiated and independent, they still work together in an effective way. We are, after all, half the industry, and so we have the ability to bring people together and to be thoughtful about innovations, new developments, and working together more effectively as a group of brands.
Okay, that's interesting. And because I guess the challenge is that some of your brands will naturally compete with one another. So was that part of your role in ensuring that they just worked alongside each other and that there was no real competition? You never want to compete necessarily within your own corporation, I guess.
And one of the things we try to instill in people's minds is that our competition is not each other. And our competition are not the other cruise lines. We are all in a shared pursuit of people's time. And spending your precious vacation time on the ocean, exploring the world, seeing new places, meeting new people is a form of travel. So our real broader approach, and one of the phrases I used in my strategy role was this concept of share of suitcase.
Okay.
Because people are going all over the world. They're going to go spend a week in London. They may go to Paris. They may see Aunt Susie back home. But everything's it's a trip type. And so ocean travel is a trip type. And the reality is our industry is still quite tiny compared to all the other trip types. So it's just a matter of helping people to focus on a differentiated customer segment and proposition, which is, by the way, why I love the Seabourn brand so much, because it's so differentiated, such a clear proposition. But if each brand has that swim lane, then we can all collectively do terrific.
Okay. Well, let's talk about Seabourn. You obviously mentioned it there. So what is it about the role that, I mean, it's a great role, so why wouldn't you go for it? But what is it about it that made you excited about your job as being president, and what are your future hopes for the brand? What would you like to achieve? And it's quite a big question, but what would you like to see happen at Seabourn?
Well, look, the thing that is most inspiring is and the expression people use is the sort of the family of people involved. So we have our incredible crew, and their passion for delivering these extraordinary Seabourn experiences. We have our dedicated and loyal and fun-loving guests, many of whom I'm so excited I've already heard from. And while I'm not able to speak to all of them, I certainly enjoy listening to people's favorite Seabourn moments. And they're all anxious to get back and be on board. And then third in the family are the travel advisors. And they are so critical to our success and to the success of the guests that are looking to sail. And look, I want to say that I recognize that this is an extremely challenging time for everyone, but we know how challenging of a time it is for our travel agent community. This is difficult. This is difficult as for them as much as anyone.
Yeah, we've heard a lot from Chris Austin actually in the UK, and from Lynn, who heads up the UK team, just about, you know, the importance of agents. So I know we've heard lots about the initiatives that you guys have brought in to support agents, which is amazing, and I know that that will be so appreciated. And then that, you know, there's not many companies that are paying commission on cancelled cruises and the new cruises that people book, so that's a rarity. So that's brilliant that you're doing things like that for the trade.
Absolutely, we're committed.
Yeah, well, that's great to hear. Thank you. So it's obviously, you mentioned it's a pressing time, it's challenging time for everybody, and everyone is struggling in these circumstances. Is an interesting time for someone to change jobs? So what is it that made you do this? Because, you know, most people say you should stay in a job when it's a challenging time, but you've got a new challenge ahead of you now.
Yeah, well, look, again, you know, I'm taking on a role in an unusual time, as you say, but the people are all here.
Yeah.
You know, and so we have some incredible people, and I had a call you know, day one with my team. I had a call with the ships on Friday, and you know, we have a series of obligations during our pause, our voluntary pause, to man the ships appropriately, to ensure that we're operating with all the compliance and the health and safety of the crew. But I think it's a terrific time, Holly. I really do. I mean, these kinds of disruptions are, first of all, these are once in a, whatever you're going to call it, once in a lifetime, once in a century disruptions. But you know what? We're here to respond. And so as a leader, my job is to provide the confidence in our family and our system, but to use the facts and the data to make the right decisions. And that's what we plan to do. And when we're consulting, by the way, with some of the world's leading experts on health and the science behind this virus, and we are going to continue to deliver on the expectation of safe, you know, and a healthy, you know, crew and guest environment. That's our number one priority.
I guess with your kind of clientele, the affluent clientele, they're very discerning Seabourn guests, aren't they? And like you said, they love the brand and they're very loyal to the brand. So what do you expect their response to be as you emerge from this? Are they, I guess they're desperate to sail, are they? Or what kind of feedback are you getting from your existing loyal clients?
Well, I think what's unique about Seabourn, a few things that obviously smaller ships, Holly, you know, 450 people, 600 people, our new venture ships, which will be in the mid 200s, offer a opportunity to manage the environment with a different approach potentially than you know, other settings. So what I hear is the following. I just came off the line with one of our top, you know, guests, and who happens to be a very personal friend. And he said to me that he's been tracking how many countries he's visited. And his goal was to hit 100. He just passed 100, and now his new goal is 150. And he said, I will be visiting those countries on Seabourn. And so for them, I think what I'm hearing from guests is they're optimistic about the all clear, and they're waiting for it. Okay. Now, in the meantime, our 2021 Q3 and Q4 bookings, quarter 3, quarter 4, summer, fall bookings are showing promise, because I think people are saying, let me put the booking out in the summer. We have incredible vacation, you know, guarantees now. If you book and you need to get a credit, we're being very, I mean, more thoughtful and generous than probably any other industry around those terms. But we're doing that for a reason. You know, our guests need it to feel confident to book. And the best advice I'd give someone is plan a vacation. Know that you have the confidence to change it if something comes up. But from a psychological standpoint, we need something to look forward to. Yes. And some optimism and confidence around returning to travel. We'll return to travel.
Yeah, I guess it's just inherent, isn't it, that in everybody that they want to see more of the world. You have to hope, and so you have to hope that the industry can recover sooner rather than later, I guess. So you mentioned travel agents earlier. So obviously when someone new comes in, we always like to get their view on what travel agents mean to them and what they mean to the business. So from your perspective, how important are travel agents to the Seabourn brand?
Oh, I mean, they're the lifeline of the brand. And the I have to say that the enthusiasm, I really the travel agent community, they're like owners. They're owners of the brand. They have a sense of connection to the brand, and they know they have confidence. They have confidence that if they put their guests on the brand, the guests can have a great time. And ultimately, their business is a renewal business. So they want to make decisions that are going to lead those guests to come back to them and book the next vacation.
Okay, great. And obviously this is something that we're recording for the UK market and UK travel agents. So where does the UK market fit in Seabourn's future plans, and how important is the UK market to you guys?
Oh, I mean, it's a critical market. I think, in fact, I was just on the line the other day with one of my Cunard colleagues, and I said to this individual, don't you see an even greater opportunity to expand the UK market, given the incredible set of customer segment, the largest of the customer segment. So it's a critical market, Holly. Speaking directly to our past guests from the UK, I want to thank you. I'm very grateful for the support you provide the brand. And to those that haven't yet been on Seabourn, I encourage you to learn more about what truly is the most, we call it ultra luxury resort at sea.
Okay, great. So, and what would your message, you've said your message to consumer, to agents that haven't booked Seabourn before, or haven't worked with you before, what would be your message to them and why they should start booking with Seabourn? You've mentioned the support you're giving is kind of second to none. So what would your message be?
I guess my message is here's my message. Okay. And I'm going to just give it simply. Why not? So that's my question.
Okay.
So I encourage people, Holly, maybe if they're listening, send in the reason they haven't yet booked.
Okay. Oh, well, we can definitely ask them some feedback.
Let's find out why not.
Yeah, absolutely. And so you mentioned as well earlier, sorry, the venture class that you've got coming, your new expedition ships, and it would be remiss of me not to ask you about those plans. So where are you on those? Has the pandemic changed anything around timings or around intentions to grow the brand? And where are you with that?
Yeah, so no changes on intention to grow the brand, Holly. Those venture ships are already, we're seeing extraordinary demand. And so we're quite confident. We just did some testing on the sub that'll be on board. I just spoke to our expedition lead. Unclear yet on timing, Holly. Global supply chains have been disrupted.
Yes.
So, we obviously are working through that with the yards. And as soon as we have more information, then we'll communicate it. Obviously our goal is to get those in the water. There's lots of demand for them. And practically speaking, if there's a change there, we'll communicate it as soon as we know it so that people can react and respond. But those venture ships are going to be extraordinary experiences. I mean, really, and the demand is unprecedented. Let's not forget, we've missed out on a year of our travel lives. Okay, so that's not an insignificant proportion of the average traveler's total travel time, right? It's a meaningful amount of time, so people have to make up for lost time, and we'll be here for them.
Do you think that as a result of people not having been able to travel from a Seabourn guest point of view, will that mean that they're what was in their bucket list or moves forward and that changes and they want to activate things that they thought might be several years out? Or do you think it just might make people more adventurous in their travel choices because they've missed that opportunity to get anywhere?
It's a really good question. I'm a little concerned. I'm concerned a bit about the fear factor, Holly. I think that people have to put a label on fear because it's the only way you'll overcome it. Having said that, in my conversations today, I think the fear is a now moment, not a future moment. Okay. I think the makeup for travel concept is a perennial concept. People really feel that. So like I was saying before, I think people are kind of looking for that all clear, safe to go back, kind of a mindset. Now, at the same time, cruises get booked a year in advance, a year and a half in advance. So part of what I want to encourage people to think about is, especially the travel agents out there, is have the confidence to ask for the booking for next summer and next fall. And then it's movable, but get it on the calendar. Have something to look forward to. And that begins the process of moving people back into living the way we're used to living.
I guess capacity is also going to be an issue for the future as well. And that's another reason why agents need to encourage their clients to make the booking, because you have smaller ships and you only have a limited amount of capacity, and your loyal guests, like you said, they're eager to travel. So the capacity, could that be an issue?
I absolutely. I mean, we had one full year of demand lapse. Sort of, when I say 1 year, I mean, we're 6 months into this. We'll see what comes out there. It's just a lot of people that haven't been able to go away that are now going to want to go away.
Okay. Fab. I think that's actually all we've got time for, Josh. So thank you very much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. And we look forward to hearing more about your future plans with Seabourn. Thank you.
Thank you, Holly.